Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar Podcast. I'm your host, Jacob Elyachar, the chief content producer and writer of jakestake.com, a pop culture entertainment news website. If you're watching this on our YouTube channel, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Now, if you're listening to this on any of our audio platforms, please give us a 5-star rating and please download. I really appreciate it. Today is a very day of first on the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast because I have a band, and I rarely have a band. It's been a while since I've had a band, but this band is special. As of this recording, they have over 10,000 Instagram followers. Their music has been featured on BBC, CNN, and the Seattle Times, and they are the hosts of Fremont Fridays. So please help me welcome the Marshall Law Band.
What's happening?
What's up?
Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out to the podcast today. I really appreciate it. For starters, can you introduce yourselves individually to my audience?
What's going on, y'all? I'm Matt, the hospitality. I play the drums.
What's poppin', y'all? My name is Marshall Hugh. I'm the singer in the band. What's up, everybody? I'm Marcy Lewis. I play the keys.
I'm Marty, saxophone player.
Awesome, guys. Thank you guys so much. So listen, could you share the Marshall Law Band's origin story to my audience?
Gladly. I'll let y'all know the inside scoop. So the band started about 5-6 years ago, but it started a little bit before that when I came home from school a little abruptly. And my parents said, okay, if you're going to do music, you can do music, but you can't live here and do it. So I had to find a apartment quickly. And so I moved into one of those apartments that have like different pods and a shared living space. And, I had a wide variety and diverse roommates. And I had one guy who was in there with long blonde hair, looked like a Viking. We just hung out for a bit. And when I moved out, that man hit me and said, hey, you should come and jam with my band. And that man was Marty. And ever since we kind of hit it off and eventually added the hospitality here and the band formed. So it was really just pure luck and an example of just following your heart, following your passions. And sometimes you don't know when the doors will open, but they might open and it's your roommate.
Which is amazing because I only had roommates in college, and I've been very grateful to live on my own. Mine's a few stops in mom and dad's house, but I've been living on my own for a while. But it's amazing that your roommates can become bandmates.
Yeah, it's wild. And like now a lot of us share Matt's house. So it's pretty cool.
Now bandmates have become roommates.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I bet it can become competitive for saying, okay, I'm not watching television this hour. I'm like, excuse me, I gotta watch television. Alrighty, so guys, who are the artists and groups that influence the Marshall Law Band sound?
Yeah, I think we're really blessed to have so many classically trained artists in our band that everybody listens to such a wide variety of music. I think it adds to like our salsa and spice.
Salsa and spice. I love that combination. Salsa and spice. Alrighty, so guys, what have been some of the challenges that you have faced breaking into the music industry or staying active with the recording industry, and how have you overcome those obstacles?
Yeah, I think, number one, the big thing that all artists are going to say is COVID really threw a monkey wrench in the industry, and we were all slated to go on our first national tour, hit South by Southwest, get to jam in the van, and I think that was March 13th was our of 2020 was when we were set to set sail, and that kind of put a big halt on everything, and we had to adjust. I think also for us, we're all the way in the furthest corner from everybody else that we can be, and not in one of those major music markets like LA, New York, or Nashville. So, you have to really fight hard to get national relevancy, international relevancy. And, those have been the challenges that we've had to face. And, we've overcome some hurdles and still looking to jump others.
And you guys have done a good job so far. And by the way, before we just started our conversation recording, I watched your tiny desk submission for 2023 that you guys did in March. You guys sound fabulous.
Hey,
Right
thank
on.
you. If you have any connects at NPR, tell them, you know what I mean? Next year, they need to make sure they select us.
I will. I wish that this podcast was sponsored by NPR, but I wish I had that power. But maybe in the future. So, can you describe the song that you guys performed, and why did you select that to be on your Tiny Desk submission?
Yeah, we went with Can't Cheat the Heems, which has kind of been a slogan we've been living by lately. Start off, Heems is not really a real word. It just kind of means everything.
That's debatable.
Could be this, could be that.
Yeah. Heems is just kind of a placeholder for another word. In this particular, can't cheat the Heems, it's referring to like can't cheat the work, can't cheat working hard, can't cheat putting the effort in to get the results. You got to go through the process to get the results you want. And so we figured that's having gone through COVID and having to not cheat the Heems in order to stay afloat as a band. Can't Cheat the Heems just seemed like a great option to drive us forward.
Awesome, and I gotta say I am definitely impressed with your tenacity and your incredible willingness to persevere, especially in the face of COVID. I was originally in COVID when it happened in New York City. So I was there from shutdown to phase 4, and then the pandemic brought me home in May 2021. So it's definitely amazing that you're able to persevere and be able to rectify that situation.
Yeah, where's home for you?
Currently, we are talking in my hometown of Overland Park, Kansas, a suburb of the Kansas City metropolitan area. So, which is basically Kansas City, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri merged together.
Ah, right on. Heard y'all got some good barbecue down there.
Absolutely, I highly recommend Q39, Joe's, and also my favorite Jack Stack.
We need you to send us some links to those. We music and food are about on an even footing for the boys over here.
Absolutely. So let's get back to the music. So let's talk about. So I looked at some of your songs on Spotify, and I would love to learn the stories behind them.
Yeah, let us know.
Alrighty, so let's start with Get Better. As of this recording, it has over 9,700 Spotify streams.
Yeah, that track right there is really just a moniker for anybody, each and everybody's life, and probably means something different to each and every person. For us, we were riding on what we call the SS Jelly Bean. So during COVID, music wasn't allowed in a public format or in the typical venues. So what we did to promote our album 12th and Pine is we built a parade float. And with that parade float, we would drive all throughout town and play music for the people. And Get Better started off as just a jam that grew to lyrics of us kind of having our hands cold, playing our different instruments. And we were thinking, if we could just get this music to the people, that it's going to get better. And that just grew to an anthem that anybody can relate to going through difficult and trying times, that if you stick to your passions, if you stick to, the adages that you've learned throughout growing up and acquired throughout your life, that it's going to get better.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to get better. And also, the SSS Jelly Bean is a really good name.
Thank you so much. That's a whole other can
That's
of
another
worms.
podcast.
It'd take a whole podcast for why it's called that.
All right, we'll talk about that later. So let's get back to the music. Up next is Runnin' with 13,600 Spotify streams as of recording.
Yeah, that's actually one of our first tracks we put out, and it's been the martial law anthem because we've always wanted our world to change. We've always believed that music could change the world. It is the oldest, most widely spoken language on the planet. And so tapping into that and letting people know that we're getting started and not about to stop anytime soon.
Absolutely, absolutely, guys. So we also have BLM, 14,400 Spotify streams, which I believe took place during the Black Lives Matter movement. That was also coinciding with the pandemic.
Yep, that one also kind of started off. You're seeing kind of a common theme with a lot of our tracks. Like that one started off as a jam as well. During the protests, we went out to a few of them, and we were trying to find our place within those protests. You know, especially being such a diverse group. You know, not everybody feels comfortable on a bullhorn, but we all feel comfortable bringing music to the people and using that music as a place to recharge. So we set up right there on the street on the corner, went and rented a stage and bought a generator with their last few band funds after COVID, and started just seeing the protesters going by chanting Black Lives Matter. And that chant became the lyric. And then the verses that you hear on those, you know, they speak very specifically to what was occurring here in Seattle. You know, there was a time where the protesters actually were let in by one of the city council members into the city hall and occupied city hall. So that was kind of one of those lyrics is "Don't stall or occupy city hall," and it's a lyric that came true.
That's incredible to have a song that was in the middle of a major current event.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things you look back on, you kind of throw water on your face, like, whoa, did that really happen? But we got a whole album to reflect back, and yes, in fact, it did.
Awesome. So now let's talk about Head Nod. As of this recording, probably your most streamed song on Spotify with 21,500 streams so far.
Yeah, probably the oldest, maybe that or Runnin', one that we've had for a while. I mean, that's from back when we first got together. We were actually backing Marshall as a solo artist at that point after they'd reconnected from college days. And that's one that we still play almost every show to this day. I mean, I think that, it goes to show that sometimes your earliest work really is able to stand the test of time, hopefully, against the stuff that you're still creating.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So you guys are also curators of the Fremont Friday Seattle. And how did you guys get involved with that program?
So Fremont Fridays relates back to the SS Jelly Bean. And coming out of COVID, we've been touring around with it, driving around the city. And it was, it'd been over a year of no live music in venues, and people were missing it in a major way. And we'd been showing a lot of love for what we were doing with the SS Jelly Bean. So we decided we were going to pull it up in a stationary spot and be able to, Fremont is kind of our home neighborhood. That's an area that's helped us come up as a band and given us a lot of love over the years. And actually the Arts Council there sold us the Jelly Bean that we wrote on for $1, which was pretty generous.
Shout out Fremont Art Council.
We love y'all. Thank you.
And so we figured, the best place to bring that energy, that love, and that live music back was right in Fremont. I don't know if anybody wants to add to that.
After that, we decided it was going to be a free event for people because you weren't legally allowed to charge people to go anywhere because of COVID. So we just threw a free party in a parking lot right next to our buddy's bar. And 3 years later, we're still standing and people keep coming. So it's something the city needed, something the city enjoys and has endured.
And that's amazing that you brought that community back to Fremont, that part of Seattle, because I love Seattle. It's been almost several years since I've been there. So almost 2 decades. and I definitely need to come back to Seattle. So what are some of the highlights of the Fremont Fridays, if you have any from the past 3 years that stand out to you guys?
Yeah, definitely come and check us out. Come during the summer. Tourists seem to enjoy the summer a little bit more than the winter. I can't imagine why. But yeah, Fremont Fridays, I think the coolest thing for me personally is seeing the different connections of people that come to the event. They come as strangers, and then you might look on your Instagram and see them hanging out somewhere else outside of Fremont. And I think it just speaks to the family and community atmosphere that just permeates throughout the entire event. And I also really enjoy the vendor aspect of it. We line kind of the outside with about 10 different local and mostly small businesses. And it just brings music lovers and artisans to the same place to support each other and to, build relationships that last, now going on 3 years. I think there are some Fremont Friday babies out there as well. So, be careful when you come to Fremont. You might just meet your next situation.
That's just amazing. And like with the I got to say, definitely from an outsider looking at it, looks like and sounds like this has been an important event to that community. And hopefully, knock on wood, it stays a part of the community.
Absolutely.
So one of the questions I want before we leave Fremont Fridays, just in case there are vendors that are listening in that want to participate, what are you guys looking for? What are the categories that you guys are looking for?
Man, make something tight. That's about it. Like I've seen across the board from plants to cell phone carrier cases, clothing, art, food,
barbecue sauce.
Dylan's barbecue sauce. Yeah, I bought 3 bottles of that already. Shout that out.
That's pretty cool. It sounds like you got to have a lot of vendors for the variety, and you're not just glued to one area. There's so much. I heard plants, I heard barbecue sauce. Those are very unique spectrums of objects to have in a house or an apartment.
Yeah, but you have them all.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk about, does the Marshall Law Band have any dream collaborators, like singers or songwriters or musicians or producers that they would you guys like to work with? And if you guys do work with them, how do you think they would enhance your sound?
Well, before we called you, we were actually working on a song that we're sending over to Bootsy Collins and his team, and that would be an absolute dream come true. We think that he embodies that eclectic genre blending feel that we've all grown into and grown up listening to. So Bootsy, if you're watching this, man, we're gonna send you the track tomorrow, and hope you love it, hope you dig it, because we're unfunkwittable if we get Bootsy Collins with us.
I also, guys, I got to throw some names out here. I think Bruno and Anderson I think you guys would have a lot of fun with them.
I mean, yeah, obviously. Those guys,
Let's go.
I'd love to jam with Santana too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then not to mention, I got to throw in The Weeknd as well.
Sheesh. Yeah, those are people that pretty much sound good on chalkboard noises. So I think that we would love to collaborate with them. And I think here in the city, it'd be amazing to collaborate with Eva Walker, somebody that we really look up to, who's in a great band out here called the Black Tones and a host of the great radio station KXP. And I think there's another artist out here named AJ Suede, who's originally from New York, but is located here in Seattle. And we've been in some talks trying to figure something out with him as well. Very unique sound, very deep lyrics, and a very committed cult following, much to like what we aspire to build.
Yeah, and I have 2 more suggestions for you. You want to hear them?
Of course.
Yeah.
Post Malone.
All right.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Another one.
We'll get them on guitar too. We bring some rock to it. So.
And then speaking of rock, Kendrick. I would love to hear Kendrick rap on your out song.
I mean, yeah, me too.
Yeah, that would be. Let us know if you can find him in the Alps somewhere. Marshall Alban would love to collaborate with King K. Dot.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's start winding down this conversation. Let's talk about if some of most of my audience work in the music industry and are passionate about music, and maybe some of them are in bands or want to start bands or in a band that wants to take their game to the next level. So if you had a chance to meet with an aspiring band that wants to take it to the next level, what advice would you share with them?
Get your money up.
Be consistent. I mean, trying to bite off huge chunks and then fall back down and try to do this is a really difficult recipe for success. I mean, it's like a lot of things. If you want to be successful with them, like make incremental steps and try not to fall backwards. When you do, get back on that horse as quickly as you can. And again, like, consistency really is key with your social media, with your building your local presence, all of that. I mean, I can't say it enough. It's extremely important. Hydrate.
Yeah.
That part.
Absolutely, especially with the crazy summer weather that we've been having across the country.
Yeah, it's even hot here in Seattle, so make sure you're drinking a bunch of water. And if I would say something, I would say really work to build a bond that's also past music. Go and live life and experience things either together or individually, because that's when I feel a lot of the song inspirations and stuff come from, and the great songs that strike me the most from other artists are from lived experience, and then talking to universal themes that anybody can find some nuggets from.
Absolutely, absolutely. So final question, are you ready?
Born ready, boss.
Shoot.
All right, so where can my audience find your music? And if you're on social media, where can they connect with you?
You can find us on all platforms, all the everywhere. Marshall Law Band.
Go to the Spotify.
Yeah.
Marshall Law Band on Spotify. And it's Instagram. It's just at Marshall Law Band, right?
Yep.
Marshall Law Band, everything.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you get 3 L's in there.
Yeah. Don't forget the third L.
MARSHALLAW. I've done it myself, and I'm in there. So.
Awesome. So, guys, if you missed an episode of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast, where have you been? Make sure after you're done with this episode, head over to Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, Spotify, and Spreaker to check out more episodes of the Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar podcast. Once again, Jake's Take with Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. Now, are you on social media? Because I'm on social media too. Facebook, Instagram, now Threads, Twitter, and YouTube. All Jacob Elyachar, JACOBELYACHAR. And gentlemen, this August marks jakestakes.com's 12th anniversary. So for all the more music interviews, more music reviews, interviews, if you miss America's Got Talent and miss an episode, head over to jakes-shake.com to find out. Marshall Law Band, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to talk with me today. I really appreciate all of you.
Thanks, Jake.
Congrats on 12, man. That's awesome.
Thank you so much. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great one, everybody. Goodbye.